Hey, welcome to the 6th chapter. Now, this is the most interesting headline form that you can use on your landing page. It really makes your headline super conversational. And so if you really want to make a, if you actually want a headline to be extremely powerful, start with a question. So, I'm going to actually show you with some examples how powerful this headline really is. So without further ado, let me jump right into the examples that I have for this one. Alright, so look at this, heading for a divorce. Well, it just comes straight through and it really does not pussyfoot around, right? And it conveys what it is supposed to. So it's quite direct, right? And really, they could have also said, need a divorce lawyer, but that wouldn't have been as clutter-breaking as this question really is. So you need to be asking the right question. It is a relevant question which really stops people in their tracks. So by saying this, that you are, heading for a divorce, question mark, what they really have done is that they have actually shifted the spotlight on the exact pain point of their prospect, right? And so the headline actually, this question particularly is really powerful. All right, let's look at the next example. It's this one. So it goes, are you guilty of guesstimating? Now, guesstimating in business is dangerous, right? You should not be doing that. So when they say, are you guilty of it? They're really putting the, putting the focus on the emotion side of it, that, you're feeling the guilt, right? So that's how they really get you to take the desired action, by actually putting the focus on your emotions, right? That, you being guilty. So they could have even said, are you guesstimating? So that ways it would have actually turned out to be pretty much jargonish and not really, not something which will stop you in your tracks. But when they say, are you guilty of X? That's when it becomes a lot more powerful, right? The next one is, well, would you like to demo Time Doctor? Now, this is just sweet and simple, and it's a very straightforward question. Alternatively, they could have actually put the focus on the pain point in a lot more brutal manner. So maybe they could have said, are your employees wasting time? Are you being billed for more hours than your remote employees actually work for? Now, that would have been sort of, would have really aggravated the pain. It would have, it would have focused on the pain point of the prospect, but they just don't really get into that. They sort of just keep it really sweet and simple, and they just cut the chase. So, would you like to demo the Time Doctor? So that's really the purpose of a visitor to land on the page. So that's one thing that they really want the visitor to do, which is demo the Time Doctor. So they just ask you a very simple question right off the bat. Well, the next one is actually, it actually puts the focus on pain point, like I was just discussing in the Time Doctor's case, what Time Doctor is not doing. Crazy Egg actually does that, because it says what's making your visitors leave, right? So that's a pain point, right? So it directly speaks to the prospects about what they are exactly struggling with, or what they're really worried about, right? And then it sort of follows up the headline by saying, find out by seeing how users click and scroll through your website. And, so that's what the subheadline really does. So it tells you what's making your visitors leave. Well, you can find out by looking at your heat map, right? You can find out how visitors actually behaving on your website. So that's the single purpose of visiting on this particular landing page. So it has a very distinct conversion goal that you need to actually put your website URL here to see your heat map. And the purpose of seeing your heat map is that you will be able to find out why your visitors are leaving. So quite directly speaks to the prospect. The base camp headline is extremely interesting. It's very effective, and it uses the power of subtle nod. So with the first question, so as you can notice that it's actually asking two questions in one headline. So that's what makes it doubly effective. So with the first question, what it is really doing is that it is exploiting the power of subtle nod, right? So when it is asking you this question, working with other people, so what it really is doing is that it's sort of getting you to agree with it, and say, oh yes, I am actually working with other people, right? So it's getting a small yes from the visitor. And the first question also what it does is that it qualifies its ideal buyers. So its ideal prospect or its ideal buyer are people who are actually working with other people, right? And it's actually not tough to guess that people working with teams or people working in teams, especially remotely, are its ideal buyer, are the ideal buyers for Basecamp, right? So that's what the first question does. The next question, struggling to keep everyone on the same page. Well, this one, it accentuates the pain point, right? It accentuates their struggle that when they are working with other people, you know, they have this, they really struggle to keep everyone on the same page. So it really asks you that question, right? It does not actually put forth a statement there, but it really asks you that, you know, are you working with the team? Well, yes, I am. Are you struggling to keep everyone on the same page? Well, yeah, that's me, right? So there are few things which this headline really, there are few things which this headline does really well, which is that it speaks to the right audience, right? And then it gets a nod from them. And finally, it shifts the limelight on the exact struggle of their target audience. So those are the things which have been executed really well on this headline. Full marks to Basecamp for featuring such a powerful question on its landing page. So I'll see you in the next and the last headline template, which is going to be another interesting template for you to apply on your landing page.